of the challenges I've got with the pharmacies, the tariff that you received has been frozen for a very long time, hasn't it? Which is clearly unacceptable. The more important thing, I think, is to be more positive about the role that community pharmacies can play, and it gets back to the question about improving health outcomes. At the moment, we have a tremendous bottleneck in GP surgeries, and some of the things that are causing that bottleneck could be done by pharmacists, and they're willing to do it, and we've been completely unimaginative in shifting some of the, not the responsibilities, but the capabilities out of the GP practice and to pharmacies. And that's something that we would support and put the funds in, because it's, compared to what's happening at the minute, it's a relatively cheap win.
But funding means that the pharmacists are closing hours. What can Labour do about that?
Yeah, absolutely they are, and it's extremely concerning, and I've met with some of the local pharmacies, as you'd expect, in my area, and I'm continuously hearing the same thing. As was mentioned, they stand ready and they serve local communities already. They were absolutely critical during the COVID period. May I say that might have had something to do with the nighttime economy, but anyway, having problems, but they really were important during that period. And I agree with what's been said around giving them additional functions, making sure that that then supports the financial model of community pharmacy in particular is going to be really critical. We've seen a bit of an increase, obviously yourselves will be very well aware of this, bit of an increase in prescribing through pharmacies. I think it's 6 or 7 conditions, I think, that now can be dealt with through pharmacies. It's working incredibly well. Labour said we want to ensure, or well, okay, maybe not, but we need to get it right, and then we need to look to be expanding that into the future, and above all to ensure that we do have those accessible pharmacies. Really quickly on apprenticeships, what we find too often, and you know, your kind of organisation will be critical for us to deal with this in the future to improve it, is that too many businesses are saying they're unable to spend that levy money, they're not able to make use of it. I think we've seen some really interesting innovations, some pooling of funds that have been very important, often using kind of bigger organisations to help them with this. We said we really want to build on that to make sure that actually that apprenticeship funding is working for business up and down the country.
Would West Streeting hold a summit with community pharmacists, meet them, and to find out exactly what's going on, what he can do if he becomes health secretary, to try to solve the stories that we're hearing?
Well, I obviously can't compel my colleagues to do exactly what I want. I wish I could. However, my understanding is that he has had quite a lot of discussions with community pharmacists already, because he is very concerned about this high rate of closure. In some areas, you're ending up with kind of pharmacy deserts, actually, in different communities. It's often the communities that have the highest need for a pharmacy that are suffering from this. So I'm sure he would want to, and I'll certainly pass on that idea about the summit.